Facts and curiosities you didn't know about Peru, the land of treasures. Did you know that Peru is much more than Machu Picchu and ceviche? This South American country, full of history, culture, and natural wonders, holds secrets and curiosities that will surprise you. From the impressive biodiversity of the Amazon rainforest to the ancestral traditions that have survived for centuries, Peru is a true treasure to be discovered. Can you imagine how many fascinating things you could learn about this unique destination? What surprises you most about Peru's ancestral cultures? Find out as we tell you 30 curious and surprising facts about Peru that you surely didn't know. Get ready to discover a country full of mystery, magic, and hidden treasures, and don't forget to leave your comment at the end and share this video with your friends so they can be amazed too. Peru is a fascinating country, rich in history, culture, geography, and biodiversity. Often, when we think of Peru, the first thing that comes to mind is Machu Picchu, the ancient Inca city that attracts thousands of tourists from all over the world. However, Peru is much more than its archaeological heritage. This South American country has a wealth of secrets and unique aspects that make it truly special. If you are one of those who think you already know everything about Peru, get ready to be surprised with these 30 facts and curiosities that, possibly, you did not know. Starting with its geography, one of the most amazing aspects of Peru is its diversity of landscapes. It is one of the few countries in the world that has three major geographic regions: the coast, the highlands, and the jungle, each with unique characteristics. The coast, for example, stretches along 2,500 kilometers of Pacific Ocean, while the highlands are home to some of the highest mountains in South America, such as Huascarán, which reaches 6,768 meters above sea level. This variability in its terrain makes Peru home to thousands of species of flora and fauna, some of which are found nowhere else on the planet. In terms of biodiversity, Peru is considered one of the richest countries in the world. With more than 25,000 species of plants, 1,800 species of birds, and 500 species of mammals, it is among the top countries in terms of global biodiversity. In addition, Peru has more than 80 different types of ecosystems, making it home to an impressive variety of species. No wonder it is a popular destination for ecotourists and biologists. Another curious fact about Peru is that it has one of the highest concentrations of native foods in the world. Several fundamental ingredients in world cuisine have their origin in this country. Corn, potatoes, chili peppers, quinoa, and cocoa are just some of the products that were born in Peruvian lands. In fact, Peru is the birthplace of more than 3,000 different types of potato, which makes this tuber a national symbol. Peruvians have an impressive ability to create delicious dishes with these ingredients, and Peruvian cuisine is known for its diversity and flavor. Machu Picchu, the jewel of Peruvian tourism, is not only a major tourist attraction, but also a testament to the advanced engineering of the Inca civilization. Built in the 15th century by Emperor Pachacutec, Machu Picchu has fascinated archaeologists, historians, and travelers for more than a century. What many do not know is that Machu Picchu was hidden from the eyes of the outside world until its rediscovery in 1911 by the American explorer Hiram Bingham. Today, the citadel is considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. Peru's rich history does not end at Machu Picchu. Throughout its territory there are countless archaeological sites dating back to pre-Inca times. In Nazca, for example, the enigmatic Nazca lines remain one of the greatest mysteries of archaeology. These enormous geometric figures, animals and humans, which can only be fully appreciated from the air, are believed to have been created between the 5th and 8th centuries AD by the Nazca culture. Their exact purpose remains an enigma, but some experts suggest that they may have had ritual or astronomical significance. Peru has also been the scene of important historical moments over the centuries. It was in this country that the Battle of Ayacucho was fought in 1824, which sealed the independence of Peru and many other South American nations from Spanish rule. The figure of Simon Bolivar, the liberator, is very present in Peruvian history, since it was he who played a key role in the liberation of several South American nations. Bolivar, despite not being Peruvian, is considered one of the founding fathers of the country. But Peru's history is not only linked to ancient empires or battles for independence. In modern times, the country has gone through various stages of economic and political transformation. In recent decades, Peru has experienced remarkable economic growth, driven by mining, agriculture, and the export of products such as copper, gold, and coffee. In fact, Peru is one of the world's largest exporters of copper and gold. This growth has allowed the country to make progress in infrastructure and poverty reduction, although significant challenges remain in areas such as education and health. One of the most interesting aspects of Peruvian culture is its music. Indigenous sounds, such as the zampona and charango, combine with African, European, and Asian influences to create a unique fusion of rhythms and melodies. Traditional Andean music, for example, has a melancholic and solemn tone, while on the coast, African and Spanish influences give rise to styles such as cumbia and marinera. In addition, the famous Peruvian musician Susana Baca has taken Afro-Peruvian music to international stages, promoting the cultural richness of her country. Peruvian gastronomy, mentioned above for its variety and richness, has been recognized worldwide. Ceviche, the signature dish of the Peruvian coast, is just one of the many delicacies you can find in the country. Other typical dishes include lomo saltado, calzarolena, ají de gallina, and pacamanca, a traditional meal cooked underground. In recent decades, Peruvian cuisine has gained great international recognition, with chefs such as Gaston Acurio and Virgilio Martinez standing out on the global stage. Lima, the Peruvian capital, is considered by many to be the gastronomic capital of Latin America, and several of its restaurants have been ranked among the best in the world. Peru not only stands out for its culture, history, and gastronomy, but also for its festivals. One of the best known is the Festival of the Virgin de la Candelaria, celebrated in Puno, in the south of the country. This event, which brings together thousands of dancers and musicians, is considered intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Folkloric dances, such as the Diablada, combine indigenous and colonial elements, and are a sample of the region's rich cultural heritage. Peru's climate is another aspect that surprises many. Although many people associate the country with the warmth of the Amazon rainforest, Peru has an incredibly diverse climate. On the coast, for example, the climate is arid and warm, while in the highlands, the temperature can drop considerably, even reaching snowfall in some high-altitude places. In the Amazon jungle, on the other hand, a tropical and rainy climate is experienced throughout most of the year. This climatic variety also influences biodiversity, making the country a paradise for nature lovers. One of the most surprising facts is that Peru is home to one of the oldest suspension bridges in the world. The Quetzalcoatl Hanging Bridge, in the Apurimac Valley, has been rebuilt annually by the inhabitants of the region since Inca times. This bridge, made entirely of plant fiber, is a testament to the skill and resilience of the Andean people. The tradition of rebuilding the bridge every year is an ancestral practice that is still alive today. Peru, with its history, its people, and its natural wealth, continues to be a country that surprises and fascinates those who discover it. Whether for its natural wonders, its vibrant culture, or its impressive historical legacy, Peru remains, without a doubt, the country of treasures. With these 30 facts and curiosities, I hope I have brought you a little closer to understanding the complexity and beauty of this fascinating South American country. And if you ever have the opportunity to visit it, do not hesitate to explore every corner of this land full of history, magic, and wonders to discover. Peru is a country that, in addition to its impressive natural heritage, has a rich cultural heritage that has been forged over thousands of years of history. One of the most notable aspects is the influence of pre-Inca civilizations, such as the Nazca, Moche, and Paracas, which left their mark not only on archaeological structures, but also on the traditions, beliefs, and daily practices of Peruvians. These peoples developed advanced agricultural techniques, textiles, ceramics, and metallurgy, many of which are still admired today for their sophistication. Nazca ceramics, for example, are renowned for their intricate and colorful designs, which include both geometric figures and depictions of animals and mythological beings. The figure of the puma, the condor, and the serpent, known as the three sacred animals of the Andes, are common in Andean art and mythology. These symbols continue to be fundamental elements in the cosmovision of the indigenous peoples of the region. In Peruvian culture, these creatures are more than simple representations. They are considered symbols of the upper, middle, and lower worlds, and are associated with fundamental aspects of life and spirituality. The puma, for example, is considered the king of the earth, the condor the lord of the sky, and the serpent the guardian of the subterranean mysteries. In many Andean communities, rituals and festivals honoring these sacred animals are still celebrated. The miscegenation that occurred in Peru after the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors gave rise to a hybrid culture that combines indigenous, European, and African influences. This miscegenation is evident in the country's music, art, dance, and food. The marinera, a traditional Peruvian dance that symbolizes courtship between a couple, is a clear example of this fusion. While traditional Andean music is characterized by the use of indigenous instruments such as the quena, pan flute, and the charango, a stringed instrument, the marinera incorporates African and European elements, such as the Peruvian cajon and the use of dance steps that resemble those of Spanish dances. Religion plays an important role in Peru's cultural life, with a notable mix of indigenous and Catholic beliefs. An example of this is the festivity of the Virgin de la Candelaria in the city of Puno. This festivity is not only a religious celebration, but also an enormous cultural manifestation that brings together thousands of dancers and musicians who wear colorful costumes and perform complex rituals that combine ancestral beliefs with Catholicism. Religious syncretism is also seen in Ayacucho's Holy Week traditions, where processions and religious celebrations are accompanied by indigenous dances and songs that evoke both the suffering of Christ and the connection with the Andean gods. Peruvian cuisine is another example of the country's cultural richness. From ceviche, considered the signature dish of the coast, to lomo saltado, which reflects the fusion of Chinese and Peruvian tradition, Peru's cuisine is one of the most varied and flavorful in the world. Ají de gallina, a mixture of shredded chicken in a creamy ají amarillo sauce, nuts, and cheese, is another dish that highlights Peruvians' ability to blend indigenous ingredients with foreign influences. The country is also home to an incredible variety of tubers and grains that have been cultivated since pre-Inca times, such as quinoa, sweet potato, and potato. The Peruvian potato, for example, has more than 3,000 varieties, each with a distinct flavor and texture, and is central to many traditional Peruvian meals. In recent years, Peruvian cuisine has gained worldwide recognition, and Lima, the capital, has established itself as one of the most important gastronomic capitals of the world. As for handicrafts, Peru is famous for its textile work, especially alpaca and vicuña weavings. The alpaca, an animal that has been domesticated since Inca times, produces a soft, warm fiber that is used to make a wide variety of garments, such as sweaters, ponchos, and scarves. Handicraft work in Peru is a reflection of the traditions of indigenous communities, which still preserve ancestral dyeing and weaving techniques passed down from generation to generation. Many of these communities live in the Andes, where they produce their textiles by hand using natural dyes and patterns that reflect the Andean cosmovision. Straw hats, wool shawls, and intricately designed backpacks are just some of the examples of Peruvian craftsmanship that can be found in local markets. These objects are not only commercial products, but also symbols of cultural identity and resilience, especially in communities that have kept pre-Incan traditions alive. Carnival in Peru is another tradition that reflects the mix of cultures. In cities such as Cajamarca, carnival festivities are celebrated with a mixture of dances and rituals dating back to pre-Columbian times, accompanied by traditional music and elaborate costumes. These festivities are full of symbolism representing both the fertility of the land and the celebration of community life. The use of the Quechua and Aymara languages is another unique feature of Peruvian culture. Although Spanish is the official language, millions of Peruvians still speak these indigenous languages, especially in the Andean and Altiplano regions. Quechua, in particular, was the official language of the Inca Empire and is still spoken by more than 8 million people throughout Peru. Many Quechua terms have been adopted by Peruvian Spanish, and some of its words are used to describe elements of nature, agriculture, and daily life. The relationship with nature and the cosmos is central to the Quechua worldview, where the earth is considered a mother, Pachamama, to be respected and revered. Peruvian mysticism is another cultural dimension that cannot be overlooked. The country has a long tradition of shamanism and spiritual practices related to nature. In the mountains and in the jungle, there are still healers and spiritual guides who use plants such as ayahuasca and San Pedro in rituals of healing and connection with the spiritual world. These practices have attracted people from all over the world interested in experiences of self-knowledge and expansion of consciousness. The Amazon rainforest, with its vast biodiversity, is especially known for being a center of these ancient practices. Afro-Peruvian music is also an important component of Peruvian culture. After the arrival of African slaves in Peru, African rhythms were fused with the musical elements of indigenous and European peoples. The Peruvian cajon, a percussion instrument created by African slaves, is now one of the most emblematic instruments of Peruvian music. Afro-Peruvian music, expressed in genres such as festejo and zamacueca, has a great influence on Peruvian popular music today. Peru is also known for its festive traditions related to nature and the seasons. For example, in many Andean communities, Inti Raymi, an ancient Inca festival dedicated to the sun, is celebrated. This event, held every year in Cusco, is one of the largest and most colorful festivities in Peru, with theatrical performances and dances that recreate Inca rituals. During Inti Raymi, Peruvians pay homage to the sun, the source of life for Andean civilizations, and give thanks for the harvest and prosperity. As a nation of contrasts, Peru remains a country of astonishing diversity, where every corner, every community, has a unique history, tradition, and wisdom worth knowing. From the majesty of its archaeological ruins to the warmth of its festivals, Peru is a country that invites to be explored and understood in all its cultural dimensions. Indigenous traditions, mixed European and African influences, and vibrant modernity intertwine to offer a unique experience to both locals and travelers from around the world. Without a doubt, Peru is a country that never ceases to surprise and captivate. And there you have it. More than 30 surprising facts and curiosities about Peru that prove that this incredible country has much more than what it seems at first glance. If you've been fascinated by everything we've shared, imagine all that is yet to be discovered about other places in the world. At World in Evolution, we love to explore the mysteries, stories, and secrets of our planet, and we want you to continue being part of this adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos full of fascinating content. Also, if you are looking for more information on how to improve your life, your finances, and your knowledge, we invite you to visit our website selfmatamillionaires.online, where you will find valuable resources for your personal and professional growth. See you in the next video, and remember, the world is constantly evolving, and you can be part of that change.